There's a strange pattern researchers keep finding in people with extremely high IQs. It has nothing to do with how fast they think. In fact, most of them look almost ordinary, quiet, unremarkable, sometimes even a little disorganized. But behind that ordinary surface, something unusual is happening. 6 quiet habits that separate them from everyone else. And once you see them, you might notice you already do a few of them yourself. For decades, psychologists believed intelligence was mostly measured by speed: how fast you solve, how fast you answer, how fast you react. But newer neuroscience says something almost the opposite. The highest IQ minds often think slower, on purpose. Which brings us to the first habit. And it's not what you'd expect. People with extreme high IQ don't trust their own mind easily. They doubt it, constantly. When most people have a thought, they believe it. When highly intelligent people have a thought, they interrogate it. Psychology calls this metacognition, thinking about your own thinking. And it's one of the strongest predictors of intelligence ever measured. It's why they hesitate before speaking, why they pause mid-sentence, why they seem quiet in loud rooms. It's not shyness, it's a filter running behind their eyes. Checking, doubting, refining. But that's only part of the story. Because the second habit is something almost no one talks about. There's a certain kind of boredom that only very intelligent minds seem to feel. It's not the boredom of having nothing to do. It's the boredom of doing things that don't challenge them. Neuroscience shows their brains are wired for high stimulation. When something is too easy, their mind starts wandering into strange creative territory. That's why highly intelligent people often seem distracted. They're not lazy. They're understimulated. And here's where it gets interesting. This same boredom is what drives them to build, create, and obsess. But that's still not the strangest part, because what comes next changes how they interact with everyone around them. In group settings, people with high IQ often say the least, but they notice the most. Microexpressions, shifts in tone, the tiny pause before someone tells a small lie. Psychologists call this social pattern recognition, reading people the way others read a book. And once you can see people that clearly, you become slower to trust, quicker to understand, and much harder to fool. But observation has a hidden cost, and it's a cost most viewers will recognize the moment they hear it. Yes, extremely intelligent people overthink. A lot. But not the way most people assume. Their overthinking isn't rumination, it's simulation. They run scenarios. Rewrite outcomes. Test possibilities. Neuroscience links this to a brain network called the default mode network, the part of the mind that becomes most active when you're doing nothing. For most people, this network fuels worry. For highly intelligent people, it fuels insight. That's why so many of their best ideas arrive in the shower, on long walks, right before sleep. But there's a darker side to this habit, and most people never realize it's happening. Their mind rarely turns off. Even in moments of rest, something is always processing in the background. Studies consistently find one strange pattern. People with very high IQ tend to feel worse when they socialize too often. It's not that they dislike people. It's that constant interaction quietly drains the very thing they rely on, deep thinking. Solitude, for them, isn't loneliness. It's oxygen. It's where their thoughts finally get to stretch out, where ideas connect, where clarity arrives. But the world often misreads this. It calls them cold, distant, antisocial, when in truth, they're just protecting the one place their intelligence can breathe. And that leads us to the final habit, the one that ties everything together. Here's the paradox. The smarter someone is, the more comfortable they are admitting they don't know something. Psychology calls this the Dunning-Kruger effect. The less someone knows, the more certain they feel. People with high IQ have seen the edges of their own knowledge. They know how vast the unknown really is, and that's why they ask more questions than they give answers, why they say maybe more than definitely. Certainty to them is a warning sign. Curiosity is home. So here's the quiet truth most people miss. Extreme intelligence rarely looks like brilliance. It looks like patience, doubt, curiosity, solitude. It looks a lot like someone quietly watching the world, wondering how it really works. And maybe, without realizing it, you already recognize a few of these habits inside yourself. So the question is this: out of these 6 habits, which one feels the most like you? Leave your answer in the comments. It might reveal more about your mind than you think. If this video made you pause even once, consider subscribing. There's a lot more of these quiet truths waiting. Because in the next documentary, we uncover something even stranger. The 7 silent traits of people with an unusually deep mind. And once you see them, you may never look at your own thoughts the same way again.